This is the Coda Music Technologies MB-1 microphone booster. It gives you an extra 25 dB of clean gain to properly power your ribbon and dynamic microphones like the Shure SM7B we have right here. Now the SM7B needs 60 to 65 dB of gain to function properly, and most audio interfaces just don't have that much available. But with the MB-1, you just connect your mic to it, connect it to your interface, turn on phantom power, and you have an extra 25 dB of clean gain to get your microphones sounding their best. And you don't have to dime out the preamps on your interface, which can often introduce noise as well. Now, you've probably heard about things like Cloudlifters, which we have done videos on. Great devices. Also, something like a FetHead and other devices as well. But this device here will do the same exact thing, but at a lower price point. So let's go ahead and check it out. Here's the MB-1 unit. It has a light aluminum body with foam feet on the bottom. Plug your microphone into this end and connect it to your audio interface with this end. Turn on phantom power, and you have an extra 25 dB of clean gain. But understand, this unit is not for condenser microphones, as it does not pass the phantom power to the mic. So you would use the MB-1 for gain-hungry dynamic microphones like the Shure SM7B, Rode Procaster, Shure SM58, and other dynamic microphones. Phantom power is what powers this inline preamp. In a way, you can think of it like a preamp, since it boosts the signal before it hits the preamp of your audio interface. So why use the MB-1? Well, many audio interfaces do not have enough gain to properly drive some dynamic microphones, and even if they do, you'll usually have to crank the gain to 10 to get a proper level. And as you push the preamp harder, you can introduce more preamp noise, which sounds like this. Now we'll test the MB-1. We'll use the SM7B, which requires about 60 dB of gain minimum, and the PreSonus 1824C, which has 65 dB of gain available, which is more than most USB audio interfaces. I'll have to crank the gain all the way to 10 to get a good level for the SM7B. This is the SM7B, and even with the gain cranked, you can tell the levels are pretty low, and we're only about 3 inches away from the mic. Since we have 65 dB of gain, this level is usable but not ideal. And even if we turn up the volume later, depending on the quality of your preamps, we'll also be making the preamp noise we heard earlier more audible since we're driving them so hard. Now we'll connect the SM7B to the MB-1. And the MB-1 to our audio interface. Take the gain all the way down, turn on phantom power, and raise the gain to an appropriate level, which now is about 6.5 instead of 10. Plus, we have extra gain to play with if you're a soft speaker or further away from the mic. This is the SM7B using the MB-1, and now we have a much better input level. It's louder, clearer, and more sensitive and articulate. Any background noise you may hear, since we've made this mic so much more sensitive, is room tone, being that we do have a computer in this same room, and not preamp noise. And that's an important distinction. If I needed to be further from the mic, I could raise the gain a bit more and still get a good level here at about 6 inches away, or even now about 8 inches away. And now we are about a foot away from this mic. So since we're using the MB-1, and we have all of that extra gain, we really have way more options with the SM7B and other gain-hungry dynamic microphones. And we'll go ahead and take the gain back down a bit. Using the MB-1, we have a much better level with less preamp noise and still haven't applied any processing. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we have the SM7B with the MB-1 using post-processing like EQ, compression, background noise reduction, all basic things you would do for a professional sounding voice track. So that's the MB-1 microphone booster. If you have gain-hungry dynamic microphones that sound bland and flat, check out the MB-1 to open up those mics, make them more sensitive and articulate with that extra 25 dB of clean gain. That's the Coda Music Technologies MB-1 microphone booster.